Hey there, welcome to Moments That Made Us, where I will break down fascinating events from the past. Today, we're going to be talking about a leader that shaped Mexico to what it is today, for better or for worse, Porfirio Diaz. The Porfiriato was a time of progress and of control. So let's dive in. Well, the timeline that we're talking about today is from 1872 to 1910. Well, as I mentioned, the story starts in 1872, when Mexico's former president Benito Juárez passed away. Porfirio Diaz, already a well-known figure, decided that he wanted to jump in for the presidency, but the Congress had other plans, and they chose Sebastián Lerdo de Tejeda to be president instead. Diaz didn't accept this. He decided to declare the government illegitimate through the Plan of La Noria, saying that he should be the leader of Mexico. Although his rebellion didn't work at first, Diaz was a very determined person. Fast forward to the year of 1876, Diaz finally manages to become president. This was the start of what we know as the Porfiriato, a period marked by relative peace but at a very high cost. Well, let's look at the positive side. Diaz modernized Mexico City like no one else. He expanded the country's railways from 800 kilometers to 2,000 kilometers, inspired by American Cornelius Vanderbilt. This connected many things, as you can imagine, like towns, and it sped up trade, and it helped to move information pretty quickly around the country. Economically, he established the National Bank of Mexico, created a national currency, and he promoted haciendas to boost agriculture. But here is where things start to get complicated. To make room for the haciendas, many workers and indigenous communities lost their land. While some hacienda owners were productive, others decided to exploit their workers, and that led to a lot of resentment from the people. Diaz's approach to uprisings was very harsh. He used force to suppress the people, believing that stability was important above everything. His policies created peace but also inspired fear. On the international front, Diaz was a great diplomat. He maintained strong ties with Spain, the US, France, Germany, England, and this helped Mexico to gain more global recognition, which was very good for the country. Now, fast forward to the year of 1908. Diaz had been in power for nearly 30 years. In an interview with an American journalist, Diaz decided to declare that Mexico was ready for democracy. 2 years later, in 1910, Mexico was celebrated its 100th anniversary of the independence with two massive festivities. But here's the twist. Even though Diaz said that he wouldn't run for president again, he changed his mind. His opponent, who was Francisco I. Madero, was incarcerated by himself before the election even happened. Well, Madero managed to escape, and he launched the Plan of San Luis and called for an armed uprising on November 20th of 1910. This marks the end of the Porfiriato and the beginning of the Mexican Revolution. Realizing that his time was up as president, Diaz decided to step down in 1911. He left Mexico through Veracruz, sailed to Paris, and was welcomed with honors, even receiving Napoleon's sword. After nearly 35 years in the power, the Porfiriato ended. So, what can we take away from this? Progress is very important, but it means very little if it leaves its people behind. Diaz's legacy can remind us of what true leadership looks like, and that it isn't just about building a nation. It's about ensuring that everyone is getting the benefits from its process. Thank you. And that's the Porfiriato in a time crunch. Thank you for tuning in into a history lesson.